So what are the challenges you feel in next 3-5 years where the AI can be applied and in a masses of the cost effectiveness? Though we are using AI in some of the things, like if I say this shift key we are using on the keyboard. This one example of AI which keep on improving upon the way we use, whether the Hindi word or the Tamil word or whichever that may be English word. So shall we start now with Arun? Okay. Now the reverse.
See, I think the first and foremost thing will be the security, because now if everybody is saying that you will have 20-25 devices connected in your home, which is over internet or by various things, the key thing in that will be the security. So if you have put a CCTV camera in your house and if somebody can remotely switch it on without your notice because of the security breach, then you are in trouble. If your phone is lying on your desk and if it can be remotely switched on, the microphone, then it's a problem, right? So I think the security is going to be the key problem in next 3 to 5 years. And many areas, see, because we are coming from mobile marketing space, so if in India or worldwide anyway it is increasing, but in India if it is not increasing, the ad fraud is something which is the major problem area, why people are not able to shift their budget from traditional marketing to the mobile marketing or digital marketing. But eventually if you see, the security is going to be the key, because many areas, especially if you think about an IoT product, there is no standard on security. The mobile device or a computer, because it's a standard device produced by maybe only 10, 20, 50 major players, the security can be brought in easily because the number of players are very, very few. But IoT is now like growing, like thousands and thousands of producers are there and there is no standard there. So now bringing security on IoT is going to be a biggest challenge, because there is no conversion happening on that. So my feeling is the key area to focus in coming year should be the security.
And IoT is standardization, you said, yes, is a very good point, I would say. Yes.
So see, AI may do a lot of things in a lot of areas. I don't have much knowledge on that because I'm focusing on content consumption.
Sure.
So I think the foremost project in AI started with Pandora, which was a music service. Essentially, I can share the documentation with you guys. Right? So they try to second guess your 4th or 5th song if you heard 3 songs. They use machine learning very, very well in 2011. Now I think one of the best machine learning practices in content consumption is done by Facebook. Facebook is kind of number 1 there. Number 2 is Dotwa, which is the biggest media company in the world now. ByteDance. They own TikTok, the number 3 app in the world, which bought Musical.ly for $1 billion and integrated in TikTok. News aggregation is yes, but people don't read news so much. People look at more entertainment. So you see those 20-second TikTok videos with youth is kind of. So machine learning in those areas is becoming very, very, very successful. Even Alibaba and Baidu and Google are working very hard in terms of consumption. Recently, last week or last to last week, India has got a new music service called Spotify, and Spotify beats the hell out of Apple Music and everybody in terms of the way it creates playlists and uses machine learning for music consumption. And Amazon Music, which all of us probably have because of the free Prime service, in spite of having all the songs, it is a very bad service. It has all the songs, same licenses as Spotify. So the difference is intelligence. So in terms of content consumption, massive use case.
Yes.
In my opinion, I think, as I previously mentioned, healthcare is going to be one of the primary driving force of machine learning and AI going forward, given that they have enormous amount of data and there are very practical use cases. For example, doctors need to understand a lot of different things, a lot of images getting generated, billions of images every day, and doctors need to analyze it fast. And also delivery in India, apart from big cities, is quite poor. So I definitely feel that is going to be one key area where it is going to drastically transform the delivery models for healthcare sector, including insurers and backend that supports the entire healthcare industry.
So I believe, as I mentioned earlier, AI definitely has a big opportunity when it comes to solve a problem or where you need an intelligence at a scale. But having said that, the biggest challenge which I believe we are going to face in the next 3 to 5 years is around the UX around it. Because when it comes to adoption, how people are going to use it, it is very much necessary that this UX part plays a very important role, so that people are actually easily able to consume that kind of a service. Sure. Because till date, there hasn't been any kind of a standard how a particular, any kind of a, let's say, AI driven systems should have been there. So I believe UX is going to be a big challenge.
Very well.
I think enough has been spoken about in this particular room about the usage of AI, the use cases, and I don't see, like Ranjit also kind of mentioned it, right? I don't see any industry where the application of AI is not there to the benefit of the business, right? So that's given actually. So I think it's all about the businesses, the industries, that they have to sit down and they have to think about their own objectives in terms of what they want to achieve, what they want to accomplish through the use of AI. But AI has a solution to offer. There's no denial to that.
It's going to stay here.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think in terms of challenge, if I have to say, so in my mind, again, the biggest challenge, you've spoken about security. That's one of the biggest challenge that is being thrown by this revolution and evolution around AI and other technologies, digital economy, right? So. But in addition to that, there's one more challenge that I personally feel actually, and it's not to do with technology alone, but it is about who's creating those AI solutions today, right? If at all there is a human supremacy out there in terms of creating those algorithm solutions, etc., right? How do we make sure that we as a human being continue to be on top of the thing? That we don't become over-reliant on these technologies or the algorithms to tell us what is right, what is wrong. We spoke about mobile phones and we're forgetting the even numbers actually. We can't even remember more than 3 or 4 or 5 numbers, right? So today, practically. So I think that is where I think each one of us as leaders have to think about how do we create a fine balance that we do not over-rely on. And when I think someone was talking about availability of lots of data actually. So how do we filter out that the data that is available for us to make better decisions versus the sort of involution, right? Where there's data that I don't have any idea about the authenticity, right? But I'm still taking my own decisions based on that data, right? Whether that suggestion is coming from a qualified doctor or someone else, is something that somewhere we have to apply our mind on. And these are the two challenges I see, security as well as over-reliance on these things.
So I'll follow the trend of sticking to one use case. And while all are being very valid use cases, I'll point out one more, which is customer service.
Sure.
And there's been an over-reliance on call centers, and it's a huge cost center for companies. And we're going to see more and more of voice bots, a lot of chat bots already in place, but more and more chatbots which actually do customer service and not just pass you on to a human agent. And also social media chatbots which are also in place today. Now, there's going to be a lot more sophistication when it comes to AI being used so that it understands context and it's able to respond in a successful manner and actually finally drive actions where it could automatically generate a ticket if necessary. The other area related to customer service where AI will play a role is actually finally analyzing all that data which gets generated to be able to know what are the major pain points that customers are facing, which will drive new products, it will drive improvements to the products that are offered to customers, and it will also effectively make the companies much more competitive because of increased loyalty.
So obviously there are all the use cases you're talking about, there are many use cases. from my perspective again, security, both in consumer and business, and then marketing automations. And augmented marketing is something which is going to be out there, it will get impacted. But if I talk about my own cloud computing industry, so how AI is transforming it, what we see is that because at one place we have the hardware, right? We have a fault tolerance hardware which we have set up, and over that we run our cloud system. So on that, what we do see is that it will be automatically able to identify the fault, notify relevant people, and also able to probably fix it. Not only identification but also prediction, because we have hardware, we know that there's a age, it start behaving in a way because of which it fails. Other than that, which from the all-level engineering, and we are talking about software engineering field, obviously automation is the key which is happening. So automation will happen in testing, which will happen in deployment, which will happen in scale. So it means that jobs like QA, quality, or admin, or architect, that would be more or less relevant in terms of that.
Yes. Okay. So I think healthcare, I have heard over the board, there is a lot of agreement in terms of huge use case for AI. I would rather like to highlight how the healthcare system will respond to these use cases or not respond to these use cases. In a way that healthcare does produce a huge amount of data, but that data has got regulatory issues, privacy issues, and it's very much disjointed and fragmented. It's not on one platform where it could be seamlessly fed into a system and used. Data of one hospital does not talk to data of another hospital. Data of one department does not talk to data of another department. Like OPD is a separate department with separate software altogether. A friend working in Microsoft told me that we are developing a software which will enable you to do away with medical records department in a hospital. They asked, why do you have it in the first place? You could scan everything, put it on the system. Why have a storehouse, warehouse where you pay rent of something like 5 lakhs per year to keep physical records and then get them insured? They do not get destroyed. So that is the state in which healthcare is. So the first step is probably to invest in getting the data digitized and then bear that cost of server, that EMR and all that. So cost of implementing AI, who is going to absorb? A hospital, somewhere, a healthcare provider in the today's industry is a little unwilling to do it. The insurance company wants you to do it, but they are not ready to pay for it. Patient obviously doesn't want to pay. So it's a question of who will take that cost and will help implementing that AI piece. Then the second thing is regulation. You mentioned CNN, convolutional neural networks. If CNN makes a diagnosis and it goes wrong, who is to be blamed? Right? If a complex neural network makes an association and says this person has this disease and should be treated with this, who is to be blamed?
No, it's not happening like that.
It's not happening. Today it is happening supervised. But I am saying suppose it happens completely unsupervised.
No. The unsupervised learning is done in a manner. First of all, the privacy issue which you said, that doesn't come into the picture because all this data is analyzed without the human name.
Anonymized data is analyzed.
Anonymized data. And right. In US, there's a major research. Now, what the machine learning is trying to do is, see, the biggest problem in the medical profession is diagnosis. And India lacks a single file system on a patient.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Canada and US, everybody's got a single file system. A doctor will not see you unless he gets the file from your previous doctor. So in India, all the problems are valid. And finally, the way the data is being used is for a doctor to kind of get to, he can order more intelligent tests on a person with this background data and matching it with millions of patients.
So I think the biggest success story of AI in healthcare is Watson. Right? IBM has developed a tool to kind of use it. They developed with MD Anderson because they had the largest database of cancer patient treatment. And MD Anderson didn't use it in the patients themselves. So they helped create Watson for IBM, but they didn't use it. And Watson has sold like hotcakes in India. Manipal as an organization bought into IBM also. They are using that platform to guide their clinicians to make decision making for a critical treatment like oncology. And I've spoken to a few of oncologists in Manipal, and they say that the platform does a phenomenal job. But only two problems. Can I charge a patient 1,000 baht extra for doing that piece? So that is one angle. Who pays for it? A second angle is it's actually not adding a real-time value in the Indian context because it is trained in MD Anderson, probably the best of the algorithm and data. It is still going to adopt to the Indian type of malignancy. My malignancy is oral cancer. It is trained in breast cancer. It's an expert in breast cancer. Right? I have not trained the algorithm on oral cancer. So the use case, oncology is fine, but you go deep in oncology, you see it is not going to replicate what it has done in US. And going to US market, there are still 25% of healthcare providers in US who do not have an EMR. Private practice, 70% do not have an EMR. So they are still moving on physical files even in US.
See, the point is that, this is a process of metamorphosis, which happens for all technology change.
Right.
And it will happen sooner or later.
Exactly. So I'm saying it will happen.
Now, I'll take an example. For example, I'm a diabetic. Okay. Once you get diabetes, every other thing you get can be related to diabetes. Anything. You're getting dry skin, let's say it's diabetes. You do frequent urination. There may be tens of reasons. Now these symptoms can be segregated, and you may have some different problem, or you have moved to a different climate. There are many things which are happening.
I'm resonating the same thought that you are saying. Okay, there is a huge use case, but I am saying there are a huge number of challenges which have to be solved before those use cases can be put in practice.
100%.
And the biggest challenge is the way AI has been developed in healthcare. It's been developed for cardiology, neurology, oncology, and eye. These are the 4 marketable solutions in the market. It is again coming up in a way a physician training has developed. There are cardiologists, there are neurologists, there are ophthalmologists. But what you are lacking today is a doctor who could kind of look at you from a holistic perspective and arrive at the diagnosis. That is how AI is not developing. It is again developing in a fragmented manner. It is developing in the way, blind man and elephant.
It's a very valid point.
But I think in US, what I understand is the primary driving force as of now is the insurance sector. They are the pioneers and they are driving AI, machine learning, NLP, whatever. But so even if hospitals might not be using it in a very prevalent manner, but insurance industry as such, because it's huge in US, they are like using every single thing that is being developed in AI, NLP domain to the best of their capability. So that's what is driving basically healthcare includes insurance thing as well.
If you say ki healthcare delivery indeed a huge use case, there are challenges. However, there is a bigger use and easier use case in pharma sector. There is a very striking use case in health insurance because they are primarily dependent on mathematical modeling to calculate risk. And that depends upon a huge amount of data to actually assess risk. My risk of getting an insurance is very different from your risk. However, today we all pay the same thing.
Actuarial science.
And unlike what we think, even in US, there are a lot of fraud cases that are happening. Patients do all kind of frauds in getting the insurance. So they are better able to detect those frauds and cut down the overall insurance cost for all citizens in US. So
but
that
if you talk to people who kind of do that actual pricing even in US, they also rely on data which is very superficial.
Yeah.
They are not going into deep diving, taking your data longitudinally, assessing it with population, cross-referencing it, population risk, and then quantifying your risk and then arriving at an actual pricing for you. We are going very superficial. Diabetes tick box, hypertension tick box, age tick box, family history tick box, and then they are trying to arrive. So, health insurance is a very strong use case. Likewise, pharma is in Indian market, 40% of the drugs are free. Right? That's WHO data. What I am thinking. Right?
How to buy genuine drugs? I think that is very important.
You go and buy from a nearby pharmacy, you don't know you're buying a chalk piece or you're buying actually a tablet which has medicine in it. And then you say,
but that can't be, checked with the AI. I probably believe this is a solution of the blockchain.
So I think it's more to do with I think it's not AI, it's more to do with IoT and the software algorithm which could put a check in.
No, blockchain can do it.
Blockchain can do it.
This is a solution for blockchain. This is a fit case. Yeah.
Well, looking at all security, user experience, healthcare, lawyers, my take will be something sustainable that can generate employment is the electric vehicle regulation. Industry 4.0, I am a part of Narendra Modi's delegation. I see electric vehicle be the biggest game changer, and I would dream that AI should come up using exponentially the electrical vehicle technology. Come 2025, there will be no more gasoline or CNG cars. Electric vehicle is such big a movement. Mercedes and BMW are coping with it. Today, many people are ESSL has come up with 30,000 cars. I was very happy to note that electric charging station near Palika Bazaar was there because my company Fortunes linked with that. We are giving that electric plugs over there. So electric vehicle, industry 4.0 is one area that I would love to see something created.
Sure.